California. All right, here's Ann Coulter's latest. Give a listen.
Berkeley, as you know, all along they've been changing their position every 5 minutes. It's like a game of musical chairs, and whenever the music stops, the answer is no, she can't speak. My allies, whom I love, were on the same side, but they ran away, they gave in, and then there was nothing I could do.
Today was supposed to be the day Ann Coulter will not speak at UC Berkeley. This has been going back and forth for weeks. She slammed the school. She blamed the college Republican group that had invited her originally for giving into pressure, saying they're kicking the can down the road and protecting free speech. Sterling Beard, editor-in-chief of Campus Reform with me now, and sir, good day to you. I know you have very strong feelings on this. First, take the violent part. If you're threatened with violence, I mean, was it in the better sense not to go forward with this? Start there.
Sure. I don't think it was a good idea not to go forward with this, because here's the fact of the matter. After Milo Yiannopoulos had to flee for his life earlier this year when the left went and smashed up some businesses in the area, they set fires.
That was a mess.
It was an absolute mess. And now the mere threat of violence is keeping Ann Coulter from campus. The left is only going to be emboldened by this. The people, the so-called self-styled anti-fascists who shut down Milo's speech, who have now made an effort to shut down Ann Coulter's speech. What happens the next time some marginal conservative figure comes, somebody who doesn't have the profile?
That's interesting. Take it up to 35,000 feet. I think there's a couple things we need to emphasize here. Largely, when the Milo violence happened, those were anarchists that lived in the Oakland area. Police had known about them for some time, correct?
It appears that way.
It wasn't necessarily the on campus. That's the way it's been played. But Coulter has criticism for the school. She's got criticism for the conservative group for backing off and backing away. And I think the bigger picture here is, what is the effect on free speech in the First Amendment in the United States of America today? When you want to express an opinion, you're shut down by a group that opposes hearing your side of the story. And if you extrapolate that across the country, ultimately views are shut down, and we have a much more narrow aspect of what people believe and what people think in America.
Oh, absolutely. Look, remember, just a few weeks ago, we were having debates over whether or not it was a moral imperative to, punch a Nazi, if you will. Of course, people were talking about Richard Spencer, the repulsive Richard Spencer. But now we've gone from punching a Nazi to threatening a mainstream conservative commentator. And that's what we're getting to at this point. You're absolutely right. It has a chilling effect on free speech. The solution is law and order, okay? If the cops in Berkeley, if the university in Berkeley were willing to enforce the law, were willing to actually take a stand against so many of these agitators, these rioters, they're not protesting anymore, they're rioting, then you'd have the free speech restored. That's not what has happened at Berkeley.
Sterling, let me ask you this. Did you see Tucker's show last night?
Unfortunately, I did.
Well, he had a professor on, a liberal professor, and the question was all about whether or not a conservative group or a movement has ever stopped a liberal from speaking with the threat of violence. And it appeared that there was no example that was able to be found. Have you found one?
I've certainly not seen one in my experience, no. Look, when was the last great big conservative riot? You can't name one. Even when Barack Obama got elected in 2008 and 2012, people didn't riot in the streets like they did after Trump's election. You didn't have stories of shop windows being broken en masse. You didn't have stories of downtowns going up in flames. That's not what conservatives typically do. Conservatives complain, they protest a little, and then they go back to their 9-to-5 job. That's not what the left does. They throw stuff up. They blow stuff up.
Sterling, thank you. The speech won't happen. On to the next one. Well, we'll see what happens then. Sterling Beard from Washington, thanks again for your time. Shannon, what's next?